It's the Crumb alive!
Mr. Crumb was realized.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live!
3, 2, 1.
We
When I go live again.
How about now, guys? Can you guys hear me now? I reset it. God, I remember my first live stream. You can hear me now? Seriously? All I did was reset my browser. What the fuck? You gotta be kidding me. What kind of... I was just talking about how I am cursed. Okay, now I lost Chris. Oh, all right. There we go. There's my man. Looks like everything's working. I just redid. I did the reset button on my browser, and somehow that worked. Can we? Can I get a 5x5 by both of us? Can I hear you?
Check 1, 2. Don't follow Crumb Radio YouTube edition. We're here for take 2. Sometimes these things happen, and we just roll with the punches. 5x5 by Ted and Mr. Coriolis and Mr. Tahiti. Things are back on track.
All right. Well, that was fun. Where were we?
We were just saying hi to the great and funny and sexy people coming over here to Don't Follow Crumb. God bless you all. 10,000 blessings upon all of your houses. I said that before, but you didn't hear it, so I'm going to say it again.
You got that Casey Kasem vibe, man. You totally totally need to be in broadcast. Yeah, man. People tell me that all the time. Like my voice should do stuff, but it's usually like a cartoon character or like, I don't know, something zany. Not so much like, hey everybody, this is the Cool Man Cool show. Like for me, it's like, what's up? I do like a fucking weird zany voice. But hey, it's great to see everybody in this chat. Okay. I got my new background here, by the way.
Looks good. I love the little
Doesn't that look good?
Looks good. Yeah. You're on there. Got the guitars, the different pianos and keyboards.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Little things here, little things.
I got a Hawaiian shirt on. Your energy is flowing, man. Flowing.
Took me a while to figure it out. I was used to the green screen at my old house because it was just the house was just such a mess that there was no way I could have a clean background. So I just leaned into the green screen. But now I'm here in the Carolinas, it's a lot cleaner, and yeah, made a little setup here. And so yeah, okay, good to see everybody. So what we were talking about was I wanted to step in with you and see, first off, because I didn't put any links or anything, but is there any links that we can tell the audience where to find you?
Nothing new that you probably haven't subscribed to already. My True Earth Entertainment YouTube channel has been a little bit inactive for the last few months, as I, like so many others, have been marinating in all the different information coming out for this, that, and the third, and also actively trying to avoid any type of toxic energy that might, unintentionally find its way over to me, because, I'm putting up the shield for myself and everything. Got to protect the energy, protect the mind, protect the different perceptions, because I found myself falling into traps like so many other things about just aimlessly believing in people without doing your own investigation. That doesn't mean anything sneaky or underhandedly, just for myself. We're all on our own journey, and that's what we're here to talk about tonight. One of many.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I'm not someone that does the amount of research that I would like if I had the budget. I didn't go to Antarctica, and I don't take photos of the sun every day. So my conviction isn't as strong on everything that's going on.
It's unnecessary. Don't feel like you're pressured into having a strong conviction.
Well, I just don't.
Excuse me.
I really don't. And but you've probably experienced something similar that I have in the last few months. And I'm not joking, guys. I've had. Well, let me just give a backstory on why my situation is a little unique. My mom got sick about 2 months ago. She died 2 weeks ago. I spent a lot of this time the last couple of months dealing with that. Um, and I really took a step back from just my, usual where I'm listening to my entertainment, where I'm, hopping in over here, like keeping up on everything. Because of that, what's happened since January till now, when I go look into what I've missed, when I do a little catch up, it's really scary, to be honest. And because so much time has gone by and so much I've missed, I've been kind of putting off doing some streams because I don't have very strong conviction. I don't know what's going on nearly as much as a lot of people seem to.
Oh, it's an
And
illusion.
yeah, well, that's true. But all that but during these last couple of months, or last month especially, I've been getting hit up on Facebook Messenger, on Telegram, anywhere, you name it, asking me, people calling me, big people calling me with big channels. And I don't want to say any names, but people are asking me where I stand on all this stuff. And it's creeping me out, dude. It's creeping me the fuck out. And I don't like it. And because I don't know. And it's weird. Now, have you had the same experience?
No, fortunately, I've had the opposite. Absolutely, very few people have been contacting me. For the most part, I've already been talking about, to be in the middle ground. I kind of felt a shift. I didn't know this type of shift was coming. And I wouldn't have thought for anything, which doesn't really surprise me because I think that's how life's supposed to work. No matter how much you try to focus on certain events happen, especially as a collective group, it's probably the last thing you're going to think of if at all. And for for the events that's transpired over the course of the last 3 or 4 months, I'm pleasantly surprised. At least that's the way I perceive to write this story for myself in my experience here. Although there's many people who are having a very hostile and even volatile time with this transition of changing of minds, changing of guards, changing of FE creators to Grove creators and vice versa, and all the different interactions. I don't think it could have happened any other way. We would probably have in mind a more on the conscious side to go a different path, especially when it comes to treating each other with a little bit more decency. When it comes to just ideologies, where fundamentally most of us has a very soft grip on what we actually believe anyway. Because from what I can tell in my 4 decades in this realm, in this incarnation, that things change at a whim. Soon as a new piece of information gets involved, if the person hearing or gathering this information takes it to heart, it literally changes their core belief system, therefore changing their perception, therefore changing their version of reality. Doesn't mean they're actually changing reality, but they're at least aware and hyper focused on an area that they ignored or for so long. And now they're giving certain things an opportunity, whether it be from the shape of the floor, what's above our heads and how it operates. So many different wonderful and some even seemingly ridiculous topics, but I like it
Yeah.
all. I love it all. It's all on the table at this point. Anything's possible, and I'm just curious to see where it's all gonna go. Where will the cards lay after they've been flung in the air? So
Well, tell me, Chris, are you flat or round? Tell me right now. I need to know. Are you one of us or one of them? And I
oh,
don't even know which one
I'm
I
still
am.
one of everybody. I'm still a human. I still like
How
people.
dare you? How dare you, sir,
Yeah.
have your own opinion? Who do you think you are?
Hey, those things happen. I'm sure there's opinions out there like that. They haven't made their way towards me. Thank goodness. I think because I don't project that type of diverse of energy. I never really liked to, and yeah, as I get older, nor do I want to, and I would like to refrain from that
Well,
as much as possible. And anytime it does come around, there's always usually a back door, a way out. There's always a middle ground with everybody I speak to that we can come to a common ground, regardless of our shifting beliefs and ideologies.
see, this is why I wanted to have you on and as my guest for the first time of me streaming in like a month and a half. And like I said, like we had a conversation a few weeks ago, and And I'm assuming, you were reaching out, and I was like, we're just curious. You were like, well, like the only one where I felt like I can like talk to without like feeling like they were hoping I would say what they wanted to say, and so I wanted to have you on because I knew this would be a good show, um, and a good conversation. I have peeped in on a few things you've been on, where you've been on panels, and eh, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I've been seeing people like pressuring you and others to have opinions that match theirs. Now, let me just say something. Like where I was in the beginning of, I mean, I'm not gonna just beat around the bush. This is all because of Antarctica and the outcome, right? I mean, let's just call that out there. I've been told that Will Duffy has been saying that I flipped. I don't know where that came from. I do know that other content creators have said that as well. Where I did flip is nothing to do with that. Where I flipped is I did believe that the community was saying some outrageous accusations in December and early January, which I had no problem saying. And then when I had to deal with my mom, I look back and then I see a lot of other higher up content creators getting attacked, like the next level. And I'm like, that wasn't really where my energy was. Like the people that were coming up with Vapegate and all that nonsense, I thought that was ridiculous. I thought it was very cultish. And yes, it was very strange, and it exposed a lot in the community. I can't really get behind a lot of the accusations in the to the community past that, to be honest.
Well, the easiest way, at least the way I've been doing it and try to do it passively as possible, is try to put yourself in their shoes, no matter
Yeah,
how much we disagree with them. Because when you do that, especially if you have some decent level of intellect, you'll see that they're coming from a place of emotion half the time, and our emotions, and when unchecked, can detour our logical part of our brain. Not saying that I'm spitting all logic all the time. I'm any other human. I'm exposed to different events daily that provoke me to say and think things out of pocket that I really doesn't benefit me in the long run. And I realize that we're all going through this. We're all having this vast human experience where it takes the highs and the lows to really kind of come to the crutch of it all. So for the people that don't didn't like what was reported by the higher, Jaron and everybody who went, they're trying, their programming, their emotions, their beliefs are being rattled again, because this isn't the first time in our lives where our beliefs have been rattled, nor will this be the last. So
no,
whatever it takes to get through these, rocky emotions that we have about the information that's being placed before us, rather you want to take somebody's perspective and experience and adopt it to your own, which we all have done more often than not, more often so than we actually take the time to go do the things that we accuse other people of doing or not doing. So it's just
yeah.
part of the journey. And the more we allow ourselves to be empathetic to others, the easier it is to understand where they're coming from, and the less harsh it'll feel when it feels like you're coming at us personally. When most of these people barely know
Yeah,
us.
I agree. I agree. The empathy for others, that's the standard, that's a given. But what I don't understand, and I don't see this with you, which is great, but what I see with a lot of people is projecting this sense of like, um, well, okay, what happened in December made me do two things. It made me point the finger at myself and myself alone to kind of see where I've let my beliefs get out of hand, where I've let my identity be attached to a belief, maybe to a level that is uncomfortable. But then also, like, I enjoy the idea of thinking of how that can work on a flat earth. I don't like being mocked and shamed and ridiculed for like being trying to think outside the box. That's not why I went down this rabbit hole. where I'm seeing a lot of people laughing and hopping on saying that, like, if you don't believe now, it's like if you don't believe mainstream, you're stupid. And this is the last community where I thought I'd be getting that from or seeing that from. So it's really strange to me how I don't see a lot of people doing a lot of introspection on their own besides you. I just don't feel like pointing the finger anywhere but myself. And
And
it's
that's a
strange.
good feeling to have. Why? What would be the point of trying to point the finger anyway? Trying to resolve a problem by
Yeah,
blaming somebody else for an external event outside of you is unbeneficial. It will get you nowhere, but
gets me
more
nowhere.
circles, putting out exactly what you expect to get in return. So it's hard. It's not supposed to be easy because the reward at the end from mastering your own mind, and I'm not saying I have by any means, but in efforts in doing so, of putting it into practice daily and putting and allowing yourself to still, like I said, be empathetic to others and their perspective doesn't mean that you have to change yours. And we should always be pushing for a higher understanding of where we are and what this place is, who we are. Yeah, I saw that. And
I wanted to address this really quick.
sure.
Empathy with dealing with narcissists is not advised. Okay, listen, dude. Empathy, look, that empathy without boundaries is not advised. If you are an empath that has struggles with boundaries, you're going to learn the hard way when you give too much to a narcissist. But that's your fault and your fault alone. So empathy, like I mean, the Tao says, love everybody. Like you love your enemies just as much as you love your friends. You just have to have strong boundaries. Um, don't give it away to everybody, but don't overflow. Like do where you're comfortable.
You also get to pick what your enemies are, just like your friends are.
Mhm.
I mean, if you decide tomorrow that the people you don't like, are your enemies, well, then now you have a thing to contend with. Where if you just let the idea of an enemy go, I mean, outside of them actually trying to
Right.
physically harm you, words still, just like they always have, don't do anything unless you allow them to. We have the same
Exactly.
ability to use the words as the ones that hurt us, and the same ones, the return of the ones that make us feel good. And that's where I'm at. I'm on this mental trip now where I want to recontextualize for myself this construct of a perception of Earth, whatever it might entail. And for me, this journey of going from didn't care to it, oh yeah, I love balls, love NASA, we're gonna go to space one day, to fast forwarding, like, okay, are we ever gonna go? Doubting it, finding the flat Earth crew, and being shown a different perspective through cameras and ideologies and conversations. I adopted it. I let it change what I perceive things, and I saw the things that I allowed myself to perceive differently when I was looking at the same uh, let's say beach footage compared to going out there and seeing it physically and then changing my mind about it and now perceiving it differently with one set of lenses to another. And now I wish to not throw those lenses away or those ideologies away, but kind of pocket them, bring them with
Yeah.
me along my journey. And if I can, leave little crumb trails for others possibly to follow along and put their own puzzle of life together.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I feel like I went through a journey where I was like accepting everybody at face value, overly believing everybody to an extreme. And then when I noticed that people were lying, I kind of went to the opposite extreme, thinking everything is a lie.
Mm.
And I don't know if I think everybody goes through a similar kind of a process in life, but maybe not as extreme as I do. Maybe they're like, oh, it's a little bit of lying and but to go
Oh,
from I
oh,
believe
there's
everybody to I think the earth is flat, like those are extreme, black and white. And now I'm at a place where um I didn't silence my phone. Dude, seriously, nobody ever calls me.
once they're calling you. I see you on YouTube. You're live on YouTube. Just want to let you know.
Right.
I see you on
Yeah.
YouTube. You're famous.
Yeah, all 13 people watching. One of those 13 people are hitting me up. But no, honestly, dude, like now I'm just like realizing that y- there's never like an end. There's never a finish line when it comes to this journey, and
Mm-mm.
I really liked this. I like this community because it's open to ideas without too much judgment compared to people who accept mainstream. You can't just say like maybe this or maybe this to like 99.9% of the world who don't know anything about what they're saying, but they will roll their eyes and say you're an idiot because it contradicts mainstream. And that's just the way the world is. Like if you ask them to explain the heliocentric model, they won't. And then, but if you say, well, maybe I think it's different than what it is, you get thrown into a camp. So what I liked the most about this journey was finding people that, were open to that because there's definitely room for it. I'm finding it less and less open to that now over the last couple of months. And that's strange to me. And it just makes me so that's why I haven't been watching a lot of content because it's like, why? Why would I watch this? This isn't fun. This isn't doing anything. This isn't adding to me. This is just adding stress. And it's sad to me because it's I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we lost something over the last few months. I don't know what it is.
No, don't
But
look at it as a loss. Look at it as a gain.
you think
Again,
so?
we get to choose this storyline. If you believe in God,
I believe in a creator.
you believe in a creator, whatever. You believe in a creator. Do you
Yeah.
believe this creator has some type of limits, or is it unlimited?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't go any farther than I believe that there's a creator
Okay,
at
that's
this
fine.
point.
That's fine. To
Yeah.
each his own. If
Yeah.
if you think in terms of numbers, is there an end to numbers? They go on forever, right?
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So if we keep it simple and say that this creator that designed everything, including numbers and tools to be used to understand the tangible universe, and even supposedly, allegedly, the untangible and dark matter and so forth. If you portray that and use that in infinity, well, then God must be infinity itself. You either have everything or nothing. And since we're here, we must be a small fraction of the everything. In
Mm.
the description of nothing itself even lets you know that no thing that doesn't exist. It's an impossibility. Even trying to think about nothing will give you a headache, or at least it does me. And not that many people I know that consciously try to think about nothing. It's a challenge upon itself. That's where the Buddhas meditate the most peacefully, of trying to quiet the mind, because there's so much information coming at us, billions of informations per second, and our tiny little human monkey brain. I'm not saying that we're monkeys, just, it's funny.
It's
Either
true.
way, whatever we are, reptilian brains, monkey brains, simulation brains, flat brains, round brains, it doesn't even matter. We all have our own distinctive limitations and ability to conceive the possibility of infinity. And if God, in his all infinite greatness, is trying to experience its creation infinitely, that means all things are on the table. So
Yeah.
not that all things that we perceive are real, but our perception does dictate our individual reality. So
Exactly.
I've been reading these crazy occultic books, The Kabbalion and The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall, and a couple of other nutbags that aren't around anymore. But their ideologies still are. Not because it was ever theirs to begin with. Maybe they have the latest iteration of an idea that is kind of rippling, through the ages. Nonetheless, we are a part of this fractal. We are a part of this infinite mind. And that means each and every one of us has a little bit of different idea, and maybe even a small piece of the puzzle, that if you're kind and patient enough to hear them out, you'll gain something that you wouldn't have before if you would have dismissed them. So all the people that been attracted to you and wanting to categorize you and place you in some box, that they're doing you a favor. They're showing you how the people around you don't have the mental capacity to think anything outside. They've already preconceived. They've already adapted as their own belief system. And that's such a big deal when it comes to science and even hermetics and mysticism. And here we
Yeah,
are
yeah.
trying to combine all these things together. And is that not what we're supposed to do? Take all the different pieces of information of this vast universe and reality and perceptions and find something that's a little bit more coherent than what we once thought and believed in.
Well, it depends on how secure we are inside. I honestly think that that's like when I said that I went through it, we all go through a phase of accepting everything and believing everything, we come in this world believing everything. And then we go through a phase of having discernment. But then we have to go to a phase where we have to get to a place where we are good regardless of what is going on outside of us. And this like desperate need to know what side you're on with this experiment just shows insecurity to me. Like we need to know, and this just projection of, you know, there's just a lot of projection of people's own insecurities on others, and I don't really like that. Like I'm realizing that I don't need this feeling of others like agreeing with me to feel good inside like I used to. Well, because these are the kind of things that I'm learning from this. And I think older people inherently like figure this out when they get to a certain age. When their friends kind of start like getting less and less, you know, because it's just not how it works, you know, and you get to like eventually get to a place where you're like, I am content. I am everything. I am completely full and everything that I need to be just as one by myself, and not insecure where I need other people to like
Validate your
share
belief.
to validate. Yeah, and I think that's the life journey. What's going on, and that's what I've learned of the last couple of months.
Well, congratulations. That sounds like an excellent
Yeah,
thing to learn about yourself and
yeah,
progress because you're obviously vibrating at a different degree or speed than you once were before you needed and required that. And we found as a collective to just kind of jump on board on a topic that we all kind of agreed in, even if we didn't fully understand it. And that's what I want to take with me through this experience is all the great and wonderful people and ideas that I've learned along the way. Not that one person was necessarily out to get me, steal my money, rob me, lie to me, manipulate me. And even if it was, it only works if you allow it to work. As soon as you figure out if that might be a possibility that's happening, you turn it off in your head and it stops immediately. You don't need to go fight the person. You don't need to go over there and try to re-explain yourself where you're at now. No, it's all completely unnecessary. And when they're willing, if they're ever willing, they'll rise to your vibration. They'll see things as more bipartisan and efforts to be more understanding to others and why they think the way they think, instead of being like, no, you're wrong. I did this and I did that and this, that, and the third. Okay, that's wonderful. That's great. But just because someone having a certain experience in this shared reality doesn't mean it's going to echo across all the other minds, no matter how similar it is.
yeah. No, you're completely right. Even though a little bit of what you just said is still kind of concerned with what they're doing, but I know what you mean. Like, it's a little freeing. It's kind of freeing what's been going on because what I've learned is I did attach my identity a little, probably too much, to an ideology.
So did I, brother. So did I.
So did you.
That was
Okay, so
part
I
of the ride,
appreciate
man.
you
That's part of the ride.
admitting that. Yeah. Now, a lot of people, I don't, I have, here's where my empathy lies in understanding that a lot of people have had a similar thing. And now, you know, I don't know. There are people that have made wonderful content for Flat Earth. And I
Absolutely.
don't expect them to like see what happened in December and flip and just completely be like, oh yeah, my entire identity is a sham. Okay. Like immediately, like, and even if that's true, which I don't know, I'm not there. I can't imagine pushing that and saying, "Oh, you're just lost in the sauce. You're being stupid for not just immediately switching. You're like completely have like like shifting your identity this fast." Now, even though a few content creators are,
I don't even
But
think they're shifting their identity just because they're changing they're changing their mind on one aspect about this realm and the way they perceive it. That's not how
you
I
don't think
view them.
so?
No,
I,
absolutely not. An identity is an all-encompassing idea of what person is in every aspect of them, which we would never know anyway. We don't know what goes through the minds of their neighbors or
I
even
know
you
we
to
have no
I. That's
idea.
just not how it works. We're these biological energy antennas that give off, whatever beacon of what we're feeling at any state of being. So when you're feeling good, you give off good energy. All you see is good things. When you're worried and you're highly empathetic and don't know how to control it, you pick up on others even when you don't mean to. And because of that empathy, you try to correlate your beliefs with theirs, but that does not necessary. We can let people be who they are in that moment, and then also accept them later when they inevitably change, because we're still people. We're fluxing, you know, again, biomechanical energy, as it were. We
Well,
don't
yeah,
barely
beliefs
understand our
do
own
change
mind.
though. Like that's the thing about
Absolutely.
beliefs. Like our whole life. That's the funniest thing. Our whole lives, our beliefs have constantly evolved and constantly changed. Yet there's this weird understanding by everybody that somehow believe that beliefs are set in stone because of religions and things like that. You cannot, if you have your belief, this is your belief. Nobody and everybody has the belief. They're not interested in anything that changes that belief. Yet that's what beliefs do. They evolve. Now, it's just strange. It threatens people's reality. It threatens their ego. And it doesn't really affect me so much because I enjoy this. I'm not a I, I'm seeing where a lot of people are getting really affected. I'm trying not to name names. I don't want to name any names, but
That's
people are being really affected, and it hurts my soul to see that. And I also just
Try to,
I don't
if
know.
I can help you with that, then
Yeah,
why it doesn't bother me, because we know these people for the best versions of themselves, when they're doing charity for others, when they're helping their neighbors out, when they're being fantastic fathers and mothers to their children and even other people's children, when they're just trying
yeah,
to share the best parts about them. That's who they are in a natural sense. But because of the
yeah.
polarization of this world, you're going to see the other aspects at times, and you have to let them go through that without letting their
Mhm.
fluctuating, even hostile and volatile energy affect you to as much as it is, because this too will come to pass. Their their
Mhm.
negativity, their current understanding, eventually they'll find a new piece of information that's going to change the world for them again. If not their world, who they are, the way they think about the things they're thinking about
Right.
now, will eventually will play out its role. It's part of the story, and they will be on to the next part. Because like every other thing that happens to us, nothing lasts forever. The good, the bad, and the ugly. They all have their time and place here. And the more we cherish each part of the ride, the much funner the ride becomes. Because I
Right. It
think
is
this
a
is
ride.
thrilling about all these. We almost needed this. We were almost too much of a happy circle jerk going on. Which again, I loved having the Flat Earth Avengers together for as long as they were, but even the real Avengers broke up after a while. So this is part
Right.
of the story. When we're old men and women, we'll look back on these days like so many other days and laugh and ponder and wonder. And in hindsight, things will make a lot more sense. I just put myself there mentally immediately without having to wait, because I could see back with what's happened. So I just apply it forward as well. Because
Yeah.
why wouldn't I? Why stay somewhere where I know it's not going to last anyway, and I don't even have any benefit of trying to argue with anybody about anything? Because how can I accurately describe my experience to them, and with such a limited language like English? Even our base language is so small. We have to use the same words to describe different fucking things. It's a bit a little
You're right.
lackluster here, but that's where we find ourselves. This is part of the game. We can go learn new languages that have over 200 characters, like Japanese or Chinese or Russian. These are dialects that have way more characters to use in your explanation. But since we were born here in the Northern American part of the world, we're very limited. But that's our challenge here. We wouldn't have been born here if we weren't up for the challenge and be able to overcome this and gain a new perspective that we wouldn't have gained unless we allowed this to process. Just go through the motions and have fun with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's fun. It's making us stronger. It's definitely making me figure out like what really matters. Now, so in my experience for the last couple of months, here's what I've done. I've looked at myself and I've realized that okay, I could be a little less confident on things that I was so sure about. I did bet a bunch of Bitcoin that they weren't going to see that fucking sun spin around.
You win some, you
Lost,
lose some, man.
I lost money on it.
Yeah, money's currency, baby. That's all it is. It's currency. It's part of the wave. It comes and goes. It's supposed to. You're not always gonna win them all, man. And you know you just take it on the chin, like hey, it's
Yeah,
there.
it wasn't a
Do it.
lot, but but I
Hey,
mean that's where I was. I was that confident. I was confident enough to put money on it.
well, then
I think I
the
s- pretty
universe did
much
you a
as
favor by, humbling all of us to a certain degree, as much as you allow it to humble you, because like you've already
yeah.
pointed out, some just straight up reject other people's experiences, and they have every right to do so without having a combative energy, without being able to come and be like, well, let's argue about this. Well, why didn't you do this? Why I would have done it this
Mhm.
way? Why didn't you bring this? How come you didn't go over there? you know, it never ends because when you let your mindset get to there, like we just discussed, and when whatever state of mind you're in at the moment is what you're going to attract back to. So if you're in a wondery, hostile, or battling type of mind, you're going to find reasons to fight, argue, and be hostile, as opposed to
Yeah.
just telling people. Now, I'm proud of a lot of the people that I know that's been having a more of a rockier ride with this, because they're learning new things about themselves, new limitations about their behaviors and what triggers them. Because if you can be triggered, one shall be triggered until you aren't triggered no more. It's the only way to get over it. Ignoring it will fix nothing, where facing it will fix everything and
Yeah.
better you for it.
Well, I mean, like I said, like I looked it on myself, but then I was talking to people. I'm like, maybe flat Earth is wrong, but I still have a lot of questions. It
Yeah,
doesn't answer like this experiment. Fucking in Antarctica did not like settle all my problems with the world at all, and all it did was make me want to come up with a model that made it work. And and I think that's what Jaron was saying. Like he was hoping that's what he would come home to was a community of people that would do that. That's kind of that's where my mind went, but I don't see that happening anymore. Um, what is? I'm just curious in the chat here, intermediary cat. What are you talking about? It bothers you because you're an empath being abused by narcissists. There is no forgiving a narcissist. It was a game all along to them. We are all affected with
I've seen the
CPTSD.
worst narcissists back in the 80s. Some of them my family members make the biggest 180-degree turn. Their experience of being a narcissist only plays into the help that they're crying out for towards the universe, and the universe will send that help regardless how bad they probably ignore it. And one way or another, what they put back does come back to them. You might not be around to witness this, nor do you need to be. I mean, it's awesome when you get to see the train come in from a crash, from a very close crash, to actually port inside the station safely. And for the most part, that's what humans are. For a whole bunch of potential accidents that could happen at any moment, that somehow always arrive back home where they started their day. So we
Well,
have to let this kind of play out. It's okay, though. Even the narcissists, if they allow themselves to, can heal from their own trauma, which is provokes them to be narcissists in the first place.
yeah. You don't become a narcissist just by chance. You had a
Right.
fucked up childhood, and
Right,
usually something
absolutely.
happened to you like
All
before
of us
the
are
age of
just
5.
grown children, my friend. We're all
Yeah.
grown children. Even the
No.
60 and 70-year-olds, try to reclaim that playful type of energy because we're so young here. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what it was like 6,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, however old this realm or simulation is. But what I can tell is that we're all grown children trying to play pretend as adults that knows what the F is going on. And so we're all grasping at straws, trying to find the cleanest, clearest looking straw that will give us the best view and outlook and taste of the world. But that's still all based on perceptions. And those perceptions are all manipulated by whatever current belief you hold. about the procession, about the thing you're looking at.
See, I see Nick though in the audience saying that model ain't there. You see, there's this. You know, I mean, sure, I did come up with a model that's silly, but it works. What did you think of my model?
I think it's silly.
It's
It
silly
just
as
looked
fuck.
good, but I love the new take on it. I don't
But
think
it works. It
Well,
would work technically. Should I show people this? Should I just ruin
I
my
mean, I tell you,
credibility?
your show, you can show them what you drew, what you put together. I mean, I think it's pretty creative what you did with animation, being able to make everything spin that way. I don't think it'll work as far as observable goes, because supposedly you can see the sun at the tip of South America and Australia and
Yeah.
South America or Africa. I mean, so yeah, not
Well,
sure how that would exactly work, but we don't know for sure. We're all going off of face
look,
of what
I'm just a dumbass
space.
musician, and this is just where my mind went to a month. And if you guys want to see a flat Earth with a physical sun, that would work where you would see it in the same way at the same time as where is this damn thing? That would work. Oh, hold on. That would work at the same time. Okay, let me just pull this bad boy up. This is stupid. I get it, but you know what are you gonna do? Pulling up here. You're funny. You're like, yeah, no, that's dumb. Uh,
But I like it though. I accept it. I wouldn't debate or fight over it. I'm sure there's plenty of other people, just looking for a way to, argue and fight over it. And, if that's the
yeah.
path that they wish to take, all the infinite aspects of human beings, it doesn't surprise me, but I just choose to find a more higher road if one exists.
Well, okay. It's gonna be tough. Okay, I'm gonna. It's not letting me load it, so I'm just gonna have to play it in a different way and just unmute me. You might not be able to. You might be muted somehow, but I'm gonna play this. All right. Here is what's going on. You got. You got the world spinning, and if the world's a globe spinning, you have to be okay with that. So if the world's spinning flat, then that's great. And then you got this Antarctica over here also spinning the opposite way. Now, if you're here on this little dot on the outskirts and it does a 24-hour, it's spinning, you'll see a 24-hour sun. You will. Now, this probably isn't what's going on, but you
I'm in the
would see.
Twilight Zone.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Okay, you're here. Good, you're unmuted. What do you think?
What do y'all think?
I mean, I'm just saying this is a model. This isn't right. But okay, the area around the sun is the sunlight. And we have Antarctica is a separate thing. You're not allowed to fly to Antarctica at night. So your only time you're going to do it is when the sun's there anyway. And there's, I'm just saying, I thought it. Look, and then the northern summer, the sun's a little more inland, so you would not see it. Okay. Anyways, what I'm saying is, all I'm saying is just with a little bit of thought, just a little bit of just thinking out of the blue, as a dumbass musician, I can come up with a physical way. There's gotta be ways, and I don't want to hear anybody tell me you're stupid for not for having being creative, and that's why I got into
matter of
flat.
fact, that's probably our biggest problem. Why we only have two models, because
Exactly,
our imagination is so fucked that we can't think of anything outside of our own precognition of what we believe to be real. And most of the things we're thinking about is the same thoughts over and over again. We're looking for. We could possibly be running in circles, chasing our tails, looking for, a tangible explanation for an untangible universe.
I can't tell if people in the chat are being sarcastic. I just assume
That's
you guys
Nemo.
are.
He's means it. This is golden for him. He loves it.
He likes it. Nemo likes that.
Nemo likes it.
Dude, it's not bad. All I'm saying, if you guys are okay with a spinning ball, then what's wrong with a spinning flat? And the sun is heliocentric. Why not? you know, and
I
if
believe,
Antarctica is
like,
spinning the other
we have
way,
people that believe this world is made of crystals. We got people that believe this world is made of melted rocks and buildings. We got people who believe that this is 6,000 years old. We got people that believe this is 6 billion years old. I think they all have a minute part of truth to it because, again, this always comes back to the infinite God mind for me. This is what makes it easier for me. Maybe it might, and my explanation will be a cop out for others because they have to have a solid evidence fact of what they believe in because they somehow feel deluded if they have anything other than something that they can agree upon with others. And I feel like that you're limited there. You're putting yourself inside of a new box because an infinite mind would create infinitely. That means there's different possibilities and things that's outside of your limited
people that think out the
mind.
box is like, yeah, you bring people in on projects who haven't been assigned to something for a reason because people get stuck in tunnel vision and we're there right now.
If you ever saw a new color, how would you explain it to somebody?
I wouldn't even know how to explain a color I have seen. Like, how do you explain it?
So I'd like to contribute about the things outside of reasonable explanation is probably exactly where we find ourselves in a realm where things are so perceptibly complex. Every time we change our mind about something, we allow ourselves to experience the thing we changed our mind about, rather the thing going forward or backwards. And I think I feel like a big part of us collectively, because you got to remember, most of the people that speak are the minimum, the minute, the few, because majority of people are quiet and they're watching from the background, they're listening from the background, they're letting these thoughts marinate with them themselves, and their creative minds are perceiving a vastly different reality than we are. We already know that colorblind people exist, which literally they show us right there that, you know, their greens and blues could be our reds and blacks and so forth. Now, why would you just stop there? Because it's comfortable too. That's why people stop, because it gets a little bit too uncomfortable by leaving your comfy cage and trying to experience what it would be like in an infinite realm. And if that's where we find ourselves, well, then, of course, all these things are happening in the manner they are happening to, because your imagination is so limited. You can't possibly think outside the box that someone of some authority figure, or that was written down some preconceived book before you were born, or some story that happens eons ago somehow affects you today. It could be something much, much more incredible that we're dealing with here. And therefore,
look at
this incredible.
Wow. Okay, I try to imagine. I want to do like an SNL skit of when, because I looked into when we figured out it was a ball, and the whole thing makes no sense. And I've looked online 1,000 times to have this explained, and this is basically what we get. We get these Greek dudes took a bong hit and was like, "What if it's a fucking ball?" And it was a theory. And then Eratosthenes came around and said, if it is a ball, this is the circumference. Therefore, it is a ball. And this is the circumference.
Remember, we have to take major faith that that guy existed, that said those things, that the books that they show us, that was him that actually read it. Because usually, oh, well, it was his apprentice son's cousin's mother 400 years later that actually wrote the book. It's always
I know,
something else. The best data we could get are the ones you get for yourself.
But all the evidence of them thinking it was a ball, like there was, like, honestly, up until 3 months ago, I haven't seen any good proof, like, to be honest. And so this one is a good one, but everything else just seems very strangely, like, absent. Now, can I show you? I'm just going to show one thing here to add. Oh, shit. What happened? Did I lose you? Oh, no. Come back, Chris. Where'd he go? Come back, Chris. Well, while he's here, I'm just going to show an argument.
This is Schmied Road, where it crosses the
Big-ass
Pine
continents
River.
can move.
And
it's
the
possible.
flow of the water has cut a perfect circle in the ice. And it's been sitting here spinning around for a few hours. I saw.
What if Antarctica's doing that shit?
Thought I'd come back and take a little video to share with everyone.
Chris, come back.
It's pretty wild.
There's bigger videos. There's bigger ones of these. There's ones that are huge that just spin around. That's all I'm saying. Chris, come back. Oh, there you are. There you are.
Yeah,
What's
I
up,
didn't
dude?
leave. I don't know what happened. You just froze on my screen for a second,
Oh.
and then I wasn't there.
Yeah, it
You
was
the
about
whole
time for a
time.
technical problem out of nowhere. Is Mellow Globe Mellow Dome or
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. It's got to be.
he changed his name?
I
cha-
guess for this one. Got it.
Oh, okay. What up, Austin? Let's just let go of the word of the Jesuit priest he knew. Yeah, though I thought Mellow Globe was a different channel. Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I hope not.
It's a different thumbnail. Tony says I don't think it's him.
Oh, maybe not. I don't think it
Okay.
is. I don't know. Hard
Yeah.
to keep up with everybody's doing things all the time.
Yeah, I've been off. I know. Bless the rain down in Africa. Are you requesting something, Tony? 'Cause I got you, bro. I got you. I think it's No. No. Where is it? Oh fuck, I don't know. I don't have the Africa one. Damn it. I don't have him here. I used to. Where's my Africa guy? Well, I'll give you fly me.
And fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on a Jupiter and Mars.
Now that's the real conspiracy that I want to eventually get into. But anyways, like I was saying, I do think that there can be an explanation for what's going on, because if I can come up with something that, I'm sorry, there's something to it. You know, it
Agreed.
looks ridiculous, but you would see the same thing as you would see in Australia at the same time. You don't have to invent gravity, and you don't have to have stars far away. And I'm just a dumbass. So somebody think of something.
Come on, don't do that.
No, well, I mean, yeah, like I don't think that. I mean, there has to be. Like I asked a few people, give me like one reason why this can't be possible, and all I get is shit. And I know it looks stupid. I'm putting it back on here. Okay, if we're cool with an Earth spinning, okay, this would be what we would see it kinda, and then Antarctica going the other way. Hopefully, you're unmuted as well, Chris.
Yeah. I'm muted.
Yeah, check this out. Okay. Tell me what's wrong with this. Because you can't go to Antarctica at night, meaning they will not fly there. You can only fly at night. Even in Australia, they'll have to leave at 11 p.m. so they can get there 5 a.m. Anytime they fly at night, they have to return. It's bad. So if you leave, say like you left South America right now or at the screen, they would come back. Because there's nothing there. It's too treacherous. They have to leave during a certain amount of time. And they come and they leave during the day. And think about the Drake Passage. Like, imagine, like, it's 100 times faster than any lake. Well, that makes perfect sense because you got two bodies of water flushing that way down there. All I'm saying is you don't need gravity, and you can see the 24-hour sun with this. I've literally heard Jaron say, show me one model that's flat that would do it. Well, this is one, and I haven't really thought about it. So somebody who knows about shit can figure something out here. They have to.
I have no doubt that if you hyper focused on it for an extended period of time, you would find.
Actually, no,
alleged
Karen
proof.
B is right. She did not give me a bad object. Sorry, Karen. I did not mean to say that. She was cool with I showed her this. I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. I mean, the people who give you shit about it are just the ones, looking for their own confirmation bias. And
Here's what I heard from a lot of people was sorry about your loss, or just like stupid flirt trying to hold on. I'm like, I'm just trying to think of ways that we can see it. I mean, or there's another model that could work. There's one more model that could work. If the Earth was stationary and the sun was circling like the AE map, you could just have a spinning Antarctica moving where the sun's going. You can do that. There's a million. There's ways without inventing black holes. Come on, we could do this. It's fun. But if not, whatever. If I had a choice, it would be a spinning ball in space because I don't want to live in a world that's lying. Like a part of me was really relieved at first when I saw the 24-hour sun. I'm like, oh, really? It's not that much of a lie? That's awesome. I went a little far there. But what I believe and what is reality, or what I want and what reality is, are two separate things. And it doesn't really matter. Like, if it was up to me, I would say, great, spinning ball, they're not lying to us. Awesome. They're not lying to kids.
You know the split experiment?
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't make, like, I've heard it, but I can't do that experiment. How can they see these little things? Like, how, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, who's like, oh, yes, we weren't looking, and then it went over here, and then when we were looking, it was. How do you even do that experiment? I haven't seen anything but like cartoons on how that's done, but I have seen the split experiment. Yes.
This could be what we're in, is our expectation and observation affecting the perception of the reality. It's starting for me that nobody knows what reality actually is, just their own perceptions, their own stories, their own version of it. But
isn't it weird? Nobody does, but everyone thinks they do, and everyone else and everyone has their own version.
And I think that's wonderful.
Isn't that weird?
That's more proof that God's infinite mind has infinite aspects of where they believe they live to experience it infinitely. So that's for me a more evidence leading and suggesting that such a hyper cosmic mind, whose awareness is at an unconceivable level, that penetrates its energy through all of us, organics and inorganic alike, has a plan, has a pattern, has a perception. But unlike us, the limited fractals of this everlasting cosmic mind, we can only conceive what we truly understand. And what we truly understand is based on whatever current belief system we have about the places we are, about who we are, and where we're going. And on all those different X factor expectations is consistently changing our observable reality and who we interact with and the events we go
as
to.
it should. I'd hate to get to a place where this is everything there is to learn. All right, what do we do now? Just sit around and watch Columbo? Like, it has to be a thing.
Some people will sit around.
I do love Columbo. I just got into Columbo. I don't know. It's my new favorite show.
Yeah, you did? Out of my way, look for it anymore.
Oh man, he's
I
so
like
good.
All the movies and shows and games coming out, all the different aspects of this wonderful ride that we're on. And that's what life is. This is a fantastic ride. And I have no doubt when we're finished with this incarnation of this body, when our consciousness goes back to the whole and we remember everything instantly again, we'll be like, oh, yeah, that's right. It was a ride. This was fun. Yeah, I want to go do it again. But in the current moment, when your mind's limited and you don't have access to everything, that it's scary, it's bumpy, and at times it's just unfun.
Yeah, no, it is fun. We gotta just enjoy the ride and just get over ourselves. I don't know what Nick's deal is in the chat. Nick wants to Chris, that ain't it. Yeah, I know it ain't it. I'm showing an example of somebody trying. All right, that's it. I understand that you are very much thinking flat earth is dumb now, and yes, that's fantastic for you, and I support your journey. But I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun. What's wrong with that? See, this is the thing. Like, I like talking to you. Look, Run Boston Bear. All these people do not deserve to have everything just taken away at this point, to be just reduced to something stupid, because that's not what I pick up at these meetups. I don't pick this up at all, how it's being pushed like that. I'm not picking, man. I don't know, man. I'm just picking. I have no idea. Maybe I'm misreading you. I like this community. I like the way people think in this community. I loved meeting you at Oktoberfest. I like a lot of things in this community. I feel like um what is happened in the last few months could either make or break it to a certain extent.
Or break the unwilling, weak, the ones that
I think it can make it stronger as long as we just
Absolutely.
realize our faults and go and kind of go from there. Because I think there are culty things, but I don't think it's a cult. Like
No, me
I'm not getting cult vibes like what's being accused of by many. Now there maybe when people spiraled and like looked at like Vapegate and stuff, that was a little strange, but I'm not seeing it here.
Well, I got
feel
people on my Facebook page that they're not even worried about Baitgate or any of this. They believe that
Yeah.
every celebrity woman is a man and every celebrity man is a woman. Like
Right.
all of them. And the only reason I don't unfollow them because I want to see where they end up. Have no doubt that sooner or later, at least a few of them will come to reason about, okay, maybe this is a little bit silly, or even inevitably meet a celebrity later on in life when they're not so big and celebritized anymore. And they actually see that, oh, this is just a human. It's just a regular male human. He's not trying to pretend he's a female. He never was. And the same people believe that even the Olympic athletes, all the women there are actually men. And that's why they can flip good. I'm like, since when can men flip better than women? Anyway,
but
they're
not
all
but
over the place,
yet
man.
for some reason all those cockamamie ideas, which might be true, but they don't resonate the same as flat earth does. For some reason flat earth allows people, like, for some reason something about this subject, there's like a carte blanche to allow people to be shitty to anybody who thinks this. And everything else, I feel like there's wiggle room, and oh well, they're Republican, or they're Democrats, and they have like their things. But something about flat Earth, it doesn't, and it's just really annoying to see just like the second insurge of attacks on it after all this, especially just without like enough time to really like soak in what's been going on, because I don't know. But let me ask you, cockamamie is my new password. Oh yeah? Well, I knew that from Dave's app. Just kidding. Just kidding. But you gotta admit that's kind of funny. Anyways, I like your approach, man. We talked about on the phone. We had common ground, and you seem to be like, you seem to have a good disposition on the whole thing. I have a feeling there are a lot of people who are very confused right now and don't really have the mental capacity to really think about things as much as you are, or maybe even me. But I don't know. It's good to finally talk about this kind of stuff live,
And get it
because
off
I
your
just
chest, man, because you'll probably feel a whole different way 12 months from now. You'll look back and be like, yeah, I was at the time. It was very confusing. I was very disheartened, very disenfranchised with the whole movement. But again, it's all perspective. You get to choose the storyline that you experience. You don't have to let others dictate it for you, which sounds like what's very much is trying to happen. And this is your opportunity to use these people as personal emotional trainers, and allow them to go through their emotions without letting it affect yours. And it takes time. It's going to take work. It takes conscious effort to keep yourself grounded in who you are, what you believe in, and the reasons why you believe it, compared to letting others being like, no, well, no, check this out. Think about it my way, blah, blah. Entertain it without adopting it.
exactly entertain. Don't like observe without absorbing is really what we're learning here. And if I've never been somebody that had beliefs that if somebody didn't believe, where I'd be like, how dare they? I feel like my whole life I've just been walking on eggshells around other people who are up their own ass with their beliefs, but I can care less about what other people believe. And it's strange to me to see it again in this perspective, because this is the closest where like I put my identity, and I made a channel. I'm talking to people about flat earth. I support it. I think it's really important. And I still do. But you know, what do you do? Like, I mean, a part of me isn't as interested in it anymore if it's unless it's fun. Um, I do like to do music mostly,
I hear
and a
you.
part of me just
Me
kind of
too.
wants to just kind of veer towards that. But I want to continue doing these gravy brunches and talking to people while we do that, because it's important. Like what you just said, all the stuff you've been saying has been really helpful. And I'm not hearing a lot of that in this community. I'm hearing a lot of they're stupid, they're bad, they did this, they are lost, they. And um I'm
Yeah.
not it's just not getting me anywhere, you know what I mean? I'm not hearing that much from you. Like you are also embracing this as a personal journey, which I feel like is really admirable, man. And I just want you
It
to know
is
I
for all
admire
of
that.
us, just right, regardless if anybody, any one person doesn't want to view it that way, and I'm sure a lot don't, because we get
Mhm.
caught up in our own emotions, our own thoughts, the habitual thoughts at that, every day, thinking the same things, talking to the same people, and that are also repeating their thoughts in their own head, therefore confirming their own perceptive bias. And and how far can you really go with that? If you're all just, if
Yeah.
we're all just saying the same thing and it turns into a mantra, and then it just reinforces your belief, and then you've solidified your version of reality, or collectively, or a small
Right.
collective.
There's a lot of that also in the community. There's a lot of repeating mantras that I hear, but
It's everywhere, not just this
it's everywhere.
community.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's
It
not like it's
is.
just here. It's just
And I do it
everywhere.
too.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
people
yeah,
who don't
but
talk about
water is
conspiracies.
always level. Like I do this shit, and then I'm like, what have I done? But I don't know. It's the pursuit is what drives me. It's also the exposing of the lies that drives me. That's really important because there's a lot of lies that being a flat earther that you could are undebatable that we discovered and talked about that Antarctica has nothing to do with. Like it's a lot of stuff with the ISS like that. Come on, you know what I mean? And that stuff's important to talk about. It's not just the shape. It's a lot of it is the lies, and that's what's always been important to me. So I don't know. I appreciate all this. This is the message we have needed. Thank you, Crumb. Oh, right on, Andy. Very cool. See, that's why I was hoping I can just have my shit together and have like a cognitive thought and have FMX on here to, 'cause, we had a good conversation on the phone that day. I really, really needed that when you called, and
Absolutely, my friend. I
it
would
was
tell
good,
anybody the
man.
exact same thing, because we're all the same. And if you can kind of pick up what I'm putting down, it just makes it much easier to articulate my current understanding and always evolving understanding of this realm that we're in, this place, this simulation, rather whatever shape it may take. I notice now just being more in the middle and not being
Yeah.
so dismissive of globies, like like we all were at one point. And it allows me to see things much easier through the different shoes that I allow myself to be in, without again adopting their state of mind and being like, "You're right, I was wrong," or "I was wrong again," and they were right, and just jumping back and forth, because we're all humans. We're all very young humans. Again, I do not think the age of 80 to 100 and dying off is very old at all. Not in the grand
No.
scheme of things. Matter of fact, it seems like it's easier to trick people who with such a short lifespan. So why get all caught up on the few little bumps in the roads, or holes you might fall in, when there's so many other holes you could fall in and try out. You can have fun with this place. You really can. It's all
Have
about the
fun with it.
attitude.
Discover yourself, and
Right.
also discover what it takes. What will it take for you? Not you specifically, but you, the listener, you as me. What do you need in your life to be indestructible and have a nice fortress where outside opinions don't rile you up too much to take away your power? It's one thing to like, okay, hear other people's things and let it like entertain you in a way and make you think. But if you find that you're giving away your power and if you're giving away your power and you're spending too much time like arguing with people because you feel like you're on shaky ground yourself, that's a message that means something's insecure with ourselves. And that's I take that energy and I start pointing the finger at myself and making models where Antarctica is going the opposite way as the rest of the world. Why not?
This is
That's just where my mind
at
goes.
the end of the day, this is still a very special collective part of this community, I believe.
Yeah,
Especially
I agree. I
the
agree.
active creators out there, regardless of their current beliefs and where they stand, with their feet, to be able to put act to your thoughts is, a step in great power. It's something that most of people aren't doing. They're literally going through the motions every day, and they don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. They barely even have a purpose for why they exist at all, let alone to have an intellectual conversation about who we are and where we're going, where we come from. All these things are theoretical and hypothesis, based on whatever personal ideologies we hold and the beliefs that hold within it, because they do make us who we are if we allow them to. So it's a skill in itself, being able to
It
calm
is.
your own mind and be patient enough to hear others share their beliefs and experience without it, tainting yours that much. And we're all guilty of it at some point of our life.
Of course. Yeah, being honest with ourselves. I think all old people get to a place where they have to find that acceptance. And thank you, Karen B. Karen says my model makes more sense than the globe, and I think it does too. You're willing to accept a spinning ball in space. What's wrong with two continents spinning the opposite way? It's not that crazy.
If this is a
Anyways,
multiverse, there's definitely a realm like that happening already.
should I just? Yeah, I know.
But that bothers people too, and there's a lot, like you already said, there's new ideas, new perspectives rattle people's belief system, because to change somebody's perspective is to change their version of reality. And a lot of it's subtle, a lot of it's programmed through external forces that we're not even aware of until you're aware of it. And then you kind of, in hindsight, look backwards and like, all right, should I adjust things? Should I stay the course, or should I entertain something else for a while? Because
Yeah.
because ultimately, to tell myself, I still lean a little bit more to the flat side, because I still got more questions for the ball than I do
Gun to
flat
my
earth.
head, it's flat. Like if I
Yeah,
can't
yeah, gun. Yeah,
I
gun to
can't
say,
switch.
right.
I just want to say on the record, I can't flip if I wanted to. Maybe if I went down there and saw a sun, maybe if I've been taking photographs of the sun every day, I might have a little bit more of a way to flip. I have been dealing with my mom's death for the last month and a half, and that's it. I don't have much else. I can't. Gun to my head, I'm still a flat earther, and I just want to put that out there. Okay, I'm sorry.
We
I
might
can
find
I think I'm open to the ball. It's I don't have not having a model makes me a little more insecure
really.
of the flat earth, and I'm not gonna lie, but like gun to my
I'm a little
head,
bit more. I
that's
feel a
all
little bit
I'm
more free from it now,
well,
knowing that
exactly.
there's you know observable. I won't say tangible, but observable evidences for both sides, because I
Yeah.
can't get endless planes past us alleged wall, nor can I go to the endless void of space. I have to have faith, like we all do, that these things are even a possibility, which means this goes back to a thought experiment. So
Yep.
if we're just playing with thought experiments, it could be, and most likely is, something yet we've come into agreement with as a collective conscious, meaning that someone, not necessarily me, but anybody who would propose an idea where you can have your cake and eat it too. A lot of people don't even like that idea. Like, no, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have it this way and that way. Well, what if you can? And if there is a
Yeah.
way, you, by shutting it down right at the gate, just constricts yourself from ever experiencing such a reality if one is to be obtained. I believe that we should push the boundaries of our closed mind box further than we thought we could.
100%, man. 100%. We always gotta be pushing these boundaries between our minds. And you made a really good quote from Saint George Michael.
Did I?
You gotta have faith, faith, faith. You gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. Well, I was gonna kind of try to keep this an hour and a half. So why don't we just do that, man? This has been nice. I really enjoyed this.
Play
Is there
that
anything
video
you?
too.
Huh? Oh yeah, I got that video. I got it all
That
right,
video.
ready to rock.
A
Actually,
little dance session for everybody.
I'm
Man.
sorry,
Can
man,
you
dude.
make you
Dude,
shake
you made
that
a
in the crowd?
fucking dope ass
It was
video.
fun. I wanted to bring something to the Don't Follow Crumb show, man. I didn't want to
Yeah,
come empty handed. You know what I'm saying?
dude. And afterwards, I would love to know how you made this. So I'm uploading it. I don't know why it's not letting me upload. It's not letting me upload.
Share. Let me see. Can I share?
I had it uploaded before, and then I did that reset. I hit it. Okay, I'm gonna reset this again. You might have to do another. You might have to hit the link and come back. Is that all right?
Yeah, I don't care.
All right, I'm gonna reset this broadcast. You guys don't. You're good. I'm reload. All right, still here. Why? Here we go. Got you, and we got you. Okay, showing on screen. Okay, cool. What's up, man?
All right. Hey, haven't seen you. Imagine.
Okay, so I'm gonna play. Oh, what happened? Okay, you're still there. I'm gonna play this video. You sent this to me. It's dope. Here we go.
If you will, that everything you've ever known, every mountain, every ocean, every star in the sky is not what it seems. That the world beneath your feet, whether you once thought it was a spinning sphere or an endless plane, is something more profound. Or are you still trapped by the illusion?
Wow. So asking in the chat. That looks legit, man. Like, now let me ask you. In the chat, they ask, "Did you make that beat too?"
No, that comes from this guy. He makes free beats online. Aaron, fuck, it's Aaron something. It starts with an H. Aaron H. I'm not sure. I've been following him for years though. He's always giving out awesome beats. It's one that I've had saved up for a long time, as well as the video. I just kind of remixed it. Just wanted to bring something
That's
some
that's
jammy,
great
some high
shit, man.
energy.
How long did it take you to make that?
I don't know, about 30 minutes for an hour or so.
Wow.
When I get in the
that's
creative
pretty
flow,
impressive.
I can just sit down and do it as long as I got the footage.
Dude,
and
there you
everything
go,
already.
man. If anybody needs some video stuff, man, hit you up. Dude. You know what you're doing. That's good shit, man. Well, all right. Well, I think that's a stream, dude. I appreciate talking to you, man. Is there anything else you wanted to leave it with, dude? I really do appreciate you kind of putting your opinions on all this. And you seem to have a
thanks
very
for giving me an outlet to
good,
express mine, especially since I haven't been doing my own podcast in a while. I'm about to do a calling on some of my old stuff because I don't necessarily agree with everything that
yeah.
that I commented on in the past, because I'm willing to allow things to kind of marinate in my head and let
Yeah.
it process as long as it takes without any type of judgment or timeline and whatnot. And I still love and respect everybody around me, and I'm really trying to put myself, like I said, honestly, through a perspective of where they're coming from and why they think the way they do. I think that you get much more potential intellectual benefit of trying to understand somebody's motivations. Not necessarily that it's for sure that I do, but instead of just trying to combat them at every turn about my
Well, don't make assumptions of where they're at. Like that's the worst. Is when you're like, oh, the reason they're doing this is because of this. Then you're fucked. Like if you can at least try to understand, then you take a step out of it.
Yeah,
I completely agree, man.
we'll all leave
We're all on this.
the
This is
same
a
way we
huge
came in.
journey. Yeah. Yeah, exactly,
by
man. We're all just trying to
ourselves.
figure this shit out.
And I like to believe this place is some type of conscious school. Do you know the story of the egg story?
I don't.
The cosmic egg story. So basically, to sum it up in like 2 seconds, basically, somebody dies and they get to meet God, but he explains to God explains to the soul that everything you're all one experience, meaning that you don't get to graduate from this until you have everybody's experience. So the love that you put out is the love you experience from yourself in a different incarnation one day, and vice versa. This is a cosmic ideology that I'm kind of adopting, and then Lord knows it's not my own, but it resonates with me more than a physical, tangible one, because the more I allow this to go this direction, the more I can see why these scientists and mysticists from different occult teachings talk the way they do, all weirdly. And it only sounds odd if you're trying to look for a tangible explanation inside of this metaphysical realm. Like the sky itself, I think as above, so below, we're just as metaphysical as the sky is, but we choose to believe in a storyline where things are solid. So we keep looking externally for explanations that are internal. And I think this goes deeper than most of us are allowed to go, because it gets real freaky. It literally breaks down old comfort zones and rattles cages beyond understanding. So then we rattle other people's cages, they rattle ours back, and then there's potential confrontation that happens. So I'm now, for me, trying to use that experience into something more positive and beneficial for understanding this whole realm and the consciousness in it, because I don't think us as these little fractal pieces of the whole can ever have a whole understanding. It physically
it's
impossible, but metaphysically improbable, which means it is possible. You just have to allow yourself to go there.
It's like the 98-year-old cellist that I found, and they asked him why does he still practice every day, and he's like, I almost got it. I'm almost there.
Right.
And you're always going to have to, it's always chasing that carrot. Well, you said some wonderful things, man. And it's just nice to do a positive flat earth stream. It's been a while, so I can't thank you enough, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. If anybody liked my model, hit me up on Telegram and I'm happy to send it to you. I'm not going to post it though. And we'll hear what Alex Jones has to say on the way out. Thanks again for being on, brother. And thanks everybody in the chat. Appreciate it. Till next time.
Thank you, everybody. 10,000
Thank
blessings
you.
upon all your houses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that?